any suggestions for making extracts from crystals?
At this time, no.
Okay. Let's see. As far as individuals having challenges with finding time to follow their excitement, and especially if they have children.
It's about being creative and imaginative to make the time, not find it, by understanding how to follow, at least to some degree, the formula. Again, synchronicity being the organizing principle, they will begin to allow synchronicity to organize their lives and everyone in their lives in a manner that serves everyone best, synchronistically, thus creating the time needed in order to continue to and expand upon the actions of your passion. So you have to start somewhere. As long as you are willing to start somewhere and know that it can expand and be willing to allow it to expand without putting a condition on it that you are afraid it will expand too far and then you won't have time to do this or do that is important to you or needs to be done, is a complete contradiction of understanding how synchronicity works. So the idea is to at least act on your passion to the degree you can in the present situation and allow synchronicity as the organizing principle to bring you a more efficient way of doing with your imagination what it is that truly needs to be done, and allow you to also realize that there are different ways to do things that will afford you more time, and that there may be things you don't actually need to do when you're operating more efficiently. And therefore the time again will appear to allow you to continue to move forward. This is one of the side effects of acting on your passion, is that the synchronicity connected to it actually brings you more opportunities to act on your passion and brings with it all of the coordination necessary for everyone that's important to be in your life so that all fits in perfect timing. So it's not an issue of finding time, it's an issue of allowing perfect timing to work the way synchronicity will automatically manifest it for you.
And it also seems like when you're doing something that's your passion, like having a child and raising them,
Yes.
that even though there may be tasks involved in that process
Yes.
that you find quote unquote unpleasant or whatever, if you
Yes.
always frame it as being part of your passion of raising a child,
then you will find ways to do what is absolutely necessary in the most pleasurable way. And you will let go of those things or realize that there may be certain things that either can be done very differently or are wholly unnecessary to do. Again, remember, you have to look at this as a whole system. Being in your passion, by definition, brings with it the ways in which the things that need to be done can be done that are reflective of your passion. You don't have to assume that in your passion there will be tasks that will be unpleasant, because that's a totally contradictory idea of the state of being of passion. The state of passion wouldn't contain things that need to be done in an unpleasant way. That's not a definition of the state of passion. So being in your passion will bring you, if you're willing to allow it, the inspiration, imagination, and insight and synchronistic opportunities to allow you to do the things that truly need to be done that are reflective of your passion, including the raising of children, if that is your passion, having the family that is your passion, interacting with them in a way that is reflective of the passion of every single member in the family. Working together automatically, synchronistically, because you're in that state of being together. And nothing is left out that's important. You have to understand how this works holistically and not try to piece it together like it's a collection of disconnected parts. It's not. It's one system.
We have a phrase here that if you love someone, then you should let him or her be free.
Yes.
Can you share some more about that idea and what that really means in terms of vibrational level?
Well, again, it's not imposing assumptions of structures on relationships that may not be what the relationship is about. So it's about letting go of all of these different assumptions that just because there may be a particular strong attraction, putting an imposition upon it or a supposition upon it about what that attraction is supposed to mean and how the relationship is supposed to play out just because of the strength of the attraction is a complete misunderstanding of the principle of the formula of not having any assumptions or insistence on the way your reality unfolds. So the idea of quote unquote let them be free is the way to truly express the unconditional love that will allow the relationship to show you what it actually needs to be instead of what you've been taught to think it should be. And then you will have what you need to get out of that relationship by not assuming and misunderstanding what it is, letting it show you what it is, and getting what you need out of it, instead of being disappointed because what you thought you needed or wanted didn't happen, because that wasn't necessarily the purpose of that particular relationship.
So many people have challenges with that regarding romantic relationships.
Yes.
And so the idea that we go through a phase, let's say, of having a deep investment in romantic relationships and needing them to be the way we want them to be and our partner to be a certain way and all of that.
Yes.
What is the basis for the dysfunction aspect of that?
Well, fear of abandonment, fear of being unworthy, those kinds of things are the base frequencies of these kinds of behaviors. Again, the idea is that if that's what you're imposing upon the idea of a relationship, then you're actually not in the real relationship anyway, and you've created a self-fulfilling prophecy of, in a sense, being alone, even while you're in a relationship, because you don't know who you're actually in a relationship with, and they don't know who they're really in a relationship with, because you're not being your true self and not showing them who you really are so they can make the choice to be in the relationship that serves them or not. So the idea, again, is it comes from a fear of disconnection, being taught that you are disconnected, being taught that you are not self-empowered, being taught that you need others to complete you. So when you let all that go, the idea of relationships play out wonderfully, joyfully, lovingly, even romantically, in their own natural way according to what is germane for that relationship. Remember, there are many kinds of romance, so to speak. And so the idea of the way you impose the concept of what romance should look like very often isn't exactly a true romance.
So, how do hormones uh, play into this? Because it seems like the more intensely human beings are experiencing their hormonal aspects, the more focused they are on these ideas and their
Yes,
insistences.
because hormones reinforce the belief that created them. Remember, every belief system, positive or negative, is going to create in your physical body a chemical reflection of the belief, and that includes hormones. So if it's a fear-based belief, it's going to include the idea of a chemical composition of your hormones and many other chemical substances in the body that will reinforce what you have bought into with regard to that belief. And again, that's why when you finally let them go, you often cry them out in your tears, because letting go of a fear-based belief also requires you letting go of the chemical component, which more often than not washes out through your tears.
So, as a species, as we evolve, will our hormonal levels change to reflect
Absolutely.
that? And
Absolutely.
so, or do we have heightened levels of hormones now and perhaps historically when we've had lots of wars and a
Yes.
very patriarchal kind of environment?
How can you not? Again, remember, physical reality is a reflection on every possible level. of the state of your consciousness, which is determined by your belief systems in physical reality. So everything is going to adjust itself according to those belief systems to give you a reflection in physical terms. Everything. Nothing is left out.
So using hormones as an excuse really is no excuse, because that will change as you shift your consciousness. Is it mind over biology in a sense?
All you're saying when you use hormones as an excuse is you're saying that you acknowledge that you have bought into a belief system that has generated these particular chemical structures in your body in order to reinforce itself. So you're admitting that there is a reinforcement factor that you find challenging, but nevertheless, if you understand the mechanics of what we've just described, it can't necessarily be used as an excuse to keep doing it, because the idea of recognizing that you have the chemical hormone that reflects the belief should put you in touch with the fact that you have the belief. And therefore, if you're in touch with the fact that you have the belief, you can change it because you know that the belief generated the hormone in exactly the same way that you know that a belief generates an emotion or a thought or a behavior. So just use the hormones in the way that you would use the emotion and trace it back and say, what would I have to believe is true in order to have these chemical components in my body to reinforce this fear-based belief? Just the way you would say, what would I have to believe is true in order to feel or think or behave or experience what I am feeling, thinking, behaving, experiencing. You can use the same technique with hormones as well, because it's all a reflection of beliefs.
Is that part of what the Greys did? They tried to eliminate the hormonal aspect of their expression?
Well, yes, they had to eliminate the idea of the reinforcement of any particular kind of emotional belief or anything like that, because of the work they knew they needed to do and how they needed to focus on it in order to accomplish it. So there would be absolutely no distractions whatsoever, because the idea of the hybridization agenda was very complex, and they knew it would take a long time, and they knew that if they didn't become, in a sense, an emotionless hive mind, they would never accomplish the task.
So they did the shortcut. Instead of changing their belief system, they literally
divested themselves of the belief system in order to become a hive mentality that would then be overseen by those that they had put in charge to oversee, which is the mantis beings.
Okay, and will we see changes as we evolve and ascend in our general theme of exploration, going from the transforming darkness into light?
Yes.
To some other kind of theme as a society?
Absolutely. Again, whatever you're the vibration of determines what you experience. And the simplest way to express that is what we have said before, is that even when you let go finally of all fear-based beliefs, you can still continue to evolve and refine yourself by now determining that you can let go of things that are simply not relevant for you, even if they're not fear-based beliefs.
Okay.
So that's one example of that idea.
And then lastly, there was a question about technology and sophistication of things like dating apps and other matchmaking services, and how will our experience of dating change in the future if we evolve? We will evolve more, so we balance out our hormones and we're not so driven by that.
Yes.
And perhaps,
well, it will be something more similar to what we experience on our planet, because we operate, as we have said, on pure synchronism. You'll meet exactly who you need to meet when you need to meet them. Period. That's dating. Allow yourselves to become comfortable in whatever way, shape, or form works for you. Allow whatever images or sounds or music you wish to add to this particular experience to begin. And just let go of anything right now that you need not be concerned about. Breathe deeply and easily in a relaxed fashion, and partake of the ideas we have presented to you here this day with respect to increasing your vibration and the probability of open contact through the exercises and experiences of the cutouts that peer through your window, And the statement that you can read out loud or internally, if you wish, but out loud, creates another vibratory level to that image peering at you through the window that establishes your particular position in that relationship, in those encounters, that is far more conducive to allowing you to continue to expand your participation in a way that is more allowing of your awareness, more allowing of your terms of interaction on your own level without fear. But should that arise, examine it, explore it. But reading that statement that we dictated to you will aid and assist in going forward and expanding your ability and probability of having more awareness of the encounters you have had and the encounters that may be yet to come, especially toward the idea of open contact, of which this is the beginning, of which there will be more exercises to increase the probabilities yet again. But for now, just imagine this scenario, as we have described it, of you reading this declaration of independence and declaration of cooperation and declaration of allowance as you exchange intention with the being looking at you through the glass, through the window, through the door. And open your heart, and open your mind, and open your spirit for the best of all concerned, inclusively, lovingly, peacefully. Allow yourselves to breathe into this experience. Take your time with it. Do it creatively and artistically and beautifully. And just feel your way through it. Allow yourself to let it become more and more solid, more and more real, that you're truly interacting with a real being, not just a cardboard cutout. Keep breathing through it as you do it. And allow yourself to feel the expansion opening up within you, your heart expanding, your mind expanding, your soul and spirit filling you up with joy and gratitude and appreciation and love, in peace and beauty and harmony for all concerned. We will go through several stages of this to allow you to become more effective in your encounters, more participatory, more consciously, to understand the agreements that you have made, to play your part in the evolution of the Earth becoming the 6th hybrid race, to walk that path and experience that journey with all of us, hand in hand, heart in heart, mind in mind, soul in soul, spirit in spirit, in similar vibrations of beauty and exchange and sharing and willingness and allowance and manifestation, manifestation, manifestation of open contact as an expression here and now in this way and timing of all that is knowing itself more and more each and every moment of each and every day, of each and every week, of each and every month, of each and every year, of each and every cycle that you experience this journey to be. Allow yourself to breathe through it and allow it to breathe through you so that you share a breath, a heartbeat, a thought, a feeling, an awareness, a knowingness, in beauty, in love, and in peace, for the betterment of all concerned. Keep breathing, keep knowing, keep allowing, keep moving, keep acting. Be yourself, for nothing else needs to happen for you to experience everything that is relevant in contact for you. Continue to breathe and be excited about doing the exercise and reading the declaration, for this forms your foundation from this point forward. This forms your assurance from this point forward that you are on the path of contact. Allow yourself to let the path be illuminated by your knowingness that this is a reflection of who you truly are, or you would be somewhere else at this time. We welcome you into our family. We welcome you into our reality, a shared reality in which we can both play together. And we welcome you home. For this vibrational energy, this space, this place, and this timing is truly your home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. We will see you in your dreams and in the dream of physical reality forthwith in perfect timing. Sweet dreams, sweet dreams, sweet dreams. Allow yourself now to simply drift, knowing that you will absorb everything you need to, in an excited anticipation of carrying out the next phase and increasing the probabilities of contact for us all. We thank you, our unconditional support, our unconditional